Hi everyone, Canoopsy here. Every time I review a new phone from Oneplus, there's always a hypothetical asterisk of missing features whenever I recommend the device. The phones are always great, but there's no wireless charging, no water resistance, and the camera is just meh. But the OnePlus 8 Pro kicks the asterisk, solves all of these problems, and might just be my favorite Android phone of the year. So first up, the design of the OnePlus 8 Pro is incredible. It feels very well built, and this new matte mint color is by far one of the best phone colors I've ever seen in person. Just look at it. It shines in the light and doesn't show fingerprints or scratches at all. It's truly stunning, and also comes in blue and matte black as well. The buttons are in the perfect place, and you have a ring, vibrate, and silent slider which definitely comes in handy. The phone is water resistant finally, and the only design aspect I'm not really a fan of on this phone are the curved edges on the front. They do look beautiful, I gotta say, but those accidental presses outweigh the visual appearance of the phone for sure. So to unlock the phone, you use the in-display fingerprint scanner, which is about as quick as last year's 7T. It's pretty nice. And you're greeted with this 6.78-inch 120Hz 1440p AMOLED display, and it is incredible. Not only are the colors beautiful and accurate, all content looks crisp, clear, and the contrast and black levels are stellar. 120Hz plus AMOLED, as we learned with the Galaxy S20, is a game changer, but what OnePlus does better though is keeps 120Hz at the full 1440p resolution. Now, this refresh rate might seem like a small feature on a phone, but honestly, it is a game changer and a really big deal. It makes your phone feel smoother during day-to-day usage and gives the illusion that your phone is actually faster than it really is. But that speed is no illusion, and this phone is crazy fast, with some of the best specifications available on any device today. You got a Snapdragon 865 processor, 8 or 12 GB of RAM, 128 or 256 GB of storage, 5G support, and all that's really missing here is a microSD card slot. These specifications give you performance on a whole different level. Never does this phone feel slow, never do animations or apps lag, and when multitasking, apps stay open for very long periods of time because of all that RAM. Alongside the specifications and high refresh display, that speed is also due to the software with OnePlus's Oxygen OS. It beats out the Pixel launcher and One UI for me personally, and mainly because out of the box it just looks gorgeous, feels clean, and has great icons and animations. But it also has many great features that are not cumbersome or feel just thrown in. It's quality stuff only. Swiping over on the home screen gives you a feed of useful information, and stock apps are actually very well designed here, with Easter eggs that actually add to the experience. And the launcher provides meaningful customization. For things I have to normally install Nova Launcher for or other apps, it's just all possible here with the stock launcher and its customization. No extra apps needed, you can make this software look beautiful and the way you want it to with just simply the settings built in. Now, it's no secret, I use iOS quite a bit on my iPad Pro, and whenever I use an iPhone, I'm quite used to that operating system. But whenever I use a OnePlus phone with Oxygen OS, I'm immediately just locked in, and I really enjoy the experience. OnePlus phones are some of the few Android phones that I settle down to use and just feel at home almost immediately. Okay, so with OnePlus phones, I use them for quite a while, really enjoy the experience, but then over time, I kind of just stop using them, mainly because of the camera experience on past phones. While the cameras in the past have been pretty decent on OnePlus phones, when I look back at moments and memories, I've always wished the photos were taken with a better camera, but they weren't. But OnePlus took a huge step forward and put a major focus on the cameras this year to make them the absolute best they can be, and after the recent update, yes, it's sometimes worth posting a late review, the camera experience on this phone is easily one of the best, up there with the Huawei P40 Pro, iPhone 11 Pro Max, S20, and Pixel 4. It's pretty amazing. First up, the selfie camera. It's 16 megapixels, and unlike the P40 Pro and S20, there's unfortunately no autofocus, but that's not that big of a deal. Photos do look quite solid and make your boy look pretty nice, although I do need to get a haircut. But the rear camera setup, that's where big things happen. You got a 48 megapixel main camera, 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera, an 8 megapixel 3x telephoto zoom camera, and a 5 megapixel color filter lens which just does this. We'll just forget about that. And unlike the Galaxy S20, because the standard and ultra-wide cameras are the exact same resolution, you don't have to stick with only a standard field of view when shooting in the high megapixel mode. So that's great. The 48 megapixel photos do look really nice and sharp, and as it is a larger sensor, you do get plenty of natural bokeh in your shots with blurred backgrounds. The results are amazing, but I won't normally use 48 megapixels for my day-to-day shots, mainly because it takes longer to actually capture photos, dynamic range isn't as good, autofocus isn't as good, and just the 12 megapixel mode seems to work better for day-to-day photos. These are some shots I've taken with the 12 megapixel mode in all three cameras over the last few weeks. As you can see, photos have stellar dynamic range, accurate colors, and sharpness. And in the dark, when you throw on the night sight feature, you can use both the standard and ultra-wide camera for quite impressive results. You can see what I mean here. These are incredible photos to be shot in complete darkness. And video recording on this phone. With past OnePlus devices, video has just been alright, but sometimes features weird color tones and the overall accuracy of the video has just been a little bit off, honestly, in the past. But now on the 8 Pro, the dynamic range, color accuracy, stabilization, and autofocus have received huge upgrades, giving some of the best looking 4K video on any phone. And you can also of course use all three cameras here as well in 4K. And finally, the battery life. Using this phone's 4510 mAh battery, expect a guaranteed full day of usage and maybe enough battery to get you through the morning of the next day. That's at least what I've been getting with my usage. I've used this phone for taking lots of photos, using social media on Wi-Fi and LTE, and also watching videos being stuck at home. But what's also exciting about this phone are its fast charging options. Using the fast charger found in the box, you can go from 0 to 50% in about 20 minutes. And that's amazing. But with OnePlus's wireless fast charger they also sell, you can go from 0 to 50% in about 30 minutes. Both the wired and wireless charger charge at 30 watts. Now this does sound like an amazing feature, but there are some limits. First, you have to use OnePlus's charging cable and cube for that fast wired charging. We're used to that at this point. And wireless charging on this phone does work with any charger, but only at 5 watts, while most phones can charge up to 10 watts wirelessly. The 30 watts of fast wireless charging only works with OnePlus's own wireless charger, as it uses some proprietary tech and magic. And this charger is really not my absolute favorite. It doesn't look as sleek as I'd like, it feels and looks kinda cheap while it actually isn't very cheap, and the cable is permanently fixed to the charger. It's really not the best. But you do actually have reverse wireless charging here for charging up other devices. Okay, so OnePlus went out and made a phone with an incredibly beautiful design, a fast, smooth, and gorgeous display, some of the best performance on any phone, a camera setup that's not just versatile but actually takes really good shots, as well as battery life and charging that fits into your life and is not something to really stress about. It's pretty much an instant recommendation if you have the cash. You see, OnePlus is no longer that budget phone option. This phone costs $900 US to start, or $1,400 Canadian only in this mint color. They do offer the non-Pro OnePlus 8 at $200 less, but that phone is still missing features that really should be standard. Like wireless charging for example, which I guess is a Pro feature now. Regardless, if you want a flagship Android phone with little to no compromises, you want to try something new and you have the cash to spend, I can completely recommend the OnePlus 8 Pro. It's an Android phone that I don't really ever want to put down. It's just so much fun to use and everything it does well. It's going to be very hard for manufacturers to top this device. So what do you think of the OnePlus 8 Pro? Tell me in the comments down below, subscribe, and thank you for watching.